Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I'm your host, Justin D. Morgan, and somewhere I have a lost Tandy 1400 in the basement. But it'll show up at some point. Anyways, let's see here who we have in the basement. We have Jack68K. Hi, Jack. Jack was first. We have Sadmac. Hi, Sadmac. Sadmac second. Thomas Armstrong is almost here. Howdy, Thomas. We have Hardware Hacker. Hi, Hardware Hacker. We have, let's see here, Jack68K, but yeah, yeah, I'm a few minutes late. I'm just in time. Yes, we have Jesse, I83D6SX. Hi, Jesse. We have Jamie's Hack Shack. Hi, Jamie. We have Stian. Hi, Stian. And all right, let's see here. We have the Ko-fi Go link is in the description. And without further ado, we are going to go to the table cam because there's nothing for Wheel of Regrets tonight. Yeah, something about me, something about my upcoming schedule and not wanting stuff to show up when I don't want it to show up. It also just happens that the one item I thought would be here this weekend did not get delivered this weekend, so there are no potential regrets to test. Anyways, so I have, for this Tandy stream, I have a desire to be able to recap at least one of my 1400s, because I don't think I have enough parts to put 3 together. Hardware Hacker, thank you for the $2 super chat. Hey, who forgot that title anyways? Yes. So, I found the 1400 HD, and I know where the 1400 FD is. I don't know where my 1400 LT is, but I think the LT, I had trouble getting it open. But anyways, the HD stands for hard drive, and I believe there's all the bags of screws. And I think if I pop the cover off, we will see that, yes, we will see that I have removed the drives from this computer. And, alright, we got an NEC V20, and I think this one has a math coprocessor, and I don't remember if I installed it or if it was already here. But we have the 1400 HD. The logic board caps look okay, but well, actually, that one looks suspect, although that could just be glue. I'll probably recap the motherboard, but the problem with this one is I don't think the power supply works. Jesse says high definition. The keyboards are pretty decent on these, and probably due to the lid construction, this keyboard is intact. The display on this one, it looks okay. Jack says, I got a parallel cable from the free pile at VCF Midwest. And when I got home, I was delighted to see that it was imprinted Radio Shack on the connectors. Nice. Thomas Armstrong says, Tandy laptop and dental surgery can be used interchangeably. All right, so this power supply needs recapped. I'm fairly sure of it. And to do that, we will have to come up with a list of caps because I don't think there is one available on the internet. So this is Tandy number 1. The plastics are in, I think, reasonable shape. I don't think there's any broken plastic. However, I think this one is missing the flap that goes on the back to cover the ports, and it's missing the battery cover, if I remember. This should be the power supply for the 1400 HD. Yes. It takes AC power. I think this long cable here is actually the battery charge connector. I haven't detached the screen. I probably should. Oh, that's right. So the Tandys use a DC power adapter. Yes. So there's the incoming DC power connector. This lead here, I believe, runs over to the battery compartment. I think the battery might actually plug into that. And then here's where the various voltages for the motherboard and the riser card plug in. Oh, thank you, hardware hacker. All right. Got another $10 towards the workbench. All right, we are 87% of the way to the goal. I have tentatively an idea when I will go get the lumber for that. It will be, it's not going to be this week, and it definitely won't be next week. I have no streams next week. Then hopefully maybe a week, one of the following weekends. What's the workbench design? I will work on the workbench design next week. I'm going to base it, I think I'm going to base it off of a design that I saw in Woodworker magazine. So it's a woodworking bench, but it has about the right amount of table surface. But I'll obviously need to lower it so it's a easier sitting height. Get rid of the vise because it's got a vise clamp on it for clamping wood. It would be totally ineffective for metal. Yeah, totally enough room for an oscilloscope. Hey, Joe, welcome. So this is Tandy 1400 number 1. Let's go grab number 2 and see if it's in any better shape. Joe says, just woke up from my post-travel nap. Yes, I could tell yesterday during Dave's stream, or would it be more accurate to say Gutbomb's stream on Dave's channel, you were definitely tired. All right. Let me go grab 1400 number 2. Now, where number 3 is, it has run away. So here is 1400 number 2. Joe's asking, did you finally replace the unit that you rescued for me entirely by accident? Yes, I am trying to piece together one. It's been a while since I've looked at these, but yeah. This is candidate unit number 2 that you will see after I walk you through this one. You will see why I bought a third one. This one actually has the modem. Given the size of the connector, it would not surprise me if the serial port is on the Tandy itself. And here's the floppy drives. Yes. Hi, David Starbuck. Welcome. And there we go. This one still has the power supply installed, but this one has a whole bunch of broken plastic on it, and the screen is, like, borked. And I think someone spilled a soda in the keyboard. But anyways, what is a Tandy 1400? This was a Tandy portable computer from sometime in the 1980s, probably late 80s. It's basically, I guess, an XT class, but it uses an NEC V20 processor. It has, I think, like 512 or 640K of RAM on board. It has a decent keyboard and monochrome screen. I can output color on an external connector, but basically it was a portable computer. There were models that had hard drives in them. So it looks like this one here still has the battery in it. Shame on me for not removing that earlier. And there's our power supply that probably reeks of fish. We'll get this battery out. No, this is not related to the TRS computers. Like a portable Tandy 1000, that might be an accurate assessment. And, Joe is welcome to tell the full story in the chat, however much he wants to share, but the summary version is that I had found a Tandy 1400 on eBay from a seller in Maryland. Bought it, not realizing the meaning of the name on it, because how would I have known? Get it. I'm showing it on a live stream, and Joe says, hey, can you show me that name? I think I know that person. And I showed the name, and Joe's like, that's one of my in-laws. And so basically, to reconnect the computer with Joe and his family, I sold it to him. And that one worked. Although I think Joe did later on a live stream recap it or something like that. But anyways, that's the summary version of the not wanting to, like, name names that Joe wouldn't want named. If I'm wrong, Joe can correct me in the chat, or if there's any other details Joe would like to provide. But yes. Yes, so I will let Joe tell the story in the chat while I attempt to find the third 1400, because it is now annoying me where I put it, because I moved it when I put up shelves. And apparently it did not make it to a shelf that was close to where it was setting before I put up the shelves. And now it is bugging me to no ends, because I think the third one had the case was in the best shape. So, yeah, Jack says, clearly it was not meant to leave the family. So, let me try to find that 1400. I know it's here in the basement, because I don't remember giving it away. It had a VIC 20 sitting on top of it. That's why I couldn't find it. Because we all know the VIC 20 is a great disguise for any computer. That's why it was the wonder computer of the 1980s. It would turn any computer that wanted to be a VIC 20 and have William Shatner hawk it on TV into a VIC 20. Kind of like the Mokhtar Stealth Haze from Galaxy Quest. For all I know, LT stood for Little Tandy. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it stands for. But I found it. It was hiding under a VIC 20. Despite the fact that the VIC 20 is like shorter and wider, it was hiding under the VIC 20. So this one has the battery cover. Although it is also missing the flapadoodle. Go figure. Murder Hacker says, did I miss an actual VIC 20? No, you have not missed an actual VIC 20. So, alright, this one, the screen is in good shape. It does have the floppy drives. The problem I ran into on this one was that one of the screws that I need to remove to get the case off is stripped. Was there a CPM for 8088 computers as well? I believe there was. Jack says, we did not actually see the VIC-20 responsible for the hiding. Well, the problem is the screw is not in a place where I can Dremel it because it is recessed into the plastic. So instead, Jeremy, of Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack, suggested a while ago, because it's been a while since I've looked at this, he suggested that I get a set of reverse drill bits or left-hand drill bits, excuse me. Well, I don't know. Reverse drill bits kind of sounds interesting. And drill the screw out. Now, let me see if I can find my drill. That is not my drill. My drill is that it? Oh, there it is. My drill is hiding in its designated hiding spot. Yay! Well, let's see if I can grab it. Not falling out of the chair. Yay! All right, and it's got 3 bars of charge. All right. David Starbucks says, do I have a screw extractor kit? I do not have a screw extractor set, and the screw is not big enough to use a screw extractor. Oh, Jack says, oh yes, you do. Okay, well, it's a drill bit set. We are going to extract the screw by just drilling the head off of it. Jack says, I'm also not entirely serious. They make actual tools for this. Yes. David says, you can Dremel anything. It may destroy the thing, but that is still a successful Dremeling. Jack says, isn't destruction the point of Dremeling? Well, you could be carving something. Said Mac. And then you're mocked forever on the internet for it, David. David says, we don't call it destruction anymore. It's called improving now. Jack says, see also, applying thermal paste. Max says to Jack, it's often the end result, even if it's not always the intended goal. Jack says, make sure you hold the drill in your left hand. That would be one quick way to watch me get bummed faster than you can say, Justin removed the wrong chip on a Super Nintendo. Not to bring up that catastrophe. I still haven't done the dremeling on the shield to make the new motherboard fit in the case. Alright, so let's see here. I bought these left-hand drill bits from the place that sells the most qualitiest of tools, Harbor Freight, also known as Harbor Freight, also known as other names online. So I am going to pick the bit that is like almost. Harder Hacker says, yeah. Oh, in big letters to make sure everyone knows, Justin removes the wrong chip on a Super Nintendo. Oh, so that fast, yeah. Hey, Mega, welcome. Mega says Harbor Freak, yes. Ted Mac says to David, honestly, yeah, it's more no when to Dremel. Yeah. Well, in this case, the screw is stripped. Jesse says, I fried an LTE 286 by hooking the, quote, battery pack backwards at VCF. Ouch. David Starbucks says, China fright. Ian says, horrible freight. Jesse says, I mentioned that to give you company and messing things up. All right. Well, I might mess this Tandy 1400 up, but the screw is stripped. Jack says, removing the wrong chip can be content for a bloopers video. Yes, it could be. And this could be content for a bloopers video, too. Oh, am I supposed to use the drill in the reverse direction? You know, I don't think these things had directions. I think they just said, like, wear safety glasses. Don't sue us if you screw it up. Oh, there we go. All right, we are... Oh, yeah, we are definitely removing the screw. I know you can't see what I'm doing, and neither can I. Because my safety glasses need cleaned. And I think I'm using the wrong size drill bit. Oh, there we go. I think the screw has... I don't think the screw is out, so that is possibly going to pose problems. Later problems. We'll deal with it later. But I think the screw broke. So now hopefully I will be able to continue disassembly. Oh, wait, maybe... Oh, you know, maybe the screw is not yet broken. All right. Hold, please, while I continue drilling a little more. The screw head has not come off yet. I thought it did, but I was wrong. The screw head is still attached to the screw. Oh! Oh, even better. Actually, the drill bit managed to actually unscrew the screw. That's actually a better result than I feared. Because that means I can attempt to find a replacement screw. So, thank you, Jeremy. If you happen to be watching this on the replay, or maybe lurking, your suggestion for the left-hand drill bits got the screw out. And it does look like I did not break any plastic doing it. Joe says that's why you use left-hand bits. It unscrews it while it bites into the head. Okay, well. Alright, so I am going to have to keep in mind there could be metal shavings, but it does look like I will be able to remove the display assembly now. Yes, you can get left-hand drill bits at your local Harbor Freight. All 20 bazillion of their convenient locations. Including probably the weirdest Harbor Freight I've been to yet. The one in Roanoke, Virginia, that is like in a shopping mall that, at least when I was there last, had like 3 stores in it. And the Harbor Freight isn't on one of the front stores. It's like on the side of the building. Show what on camera? The screw? There's the screw. We got it out. Oh, the bit. Well, here's the thing about the bits. They look like normal drill bits, but they're left. If the twist on them though is going the opposite direction. I don't have a regular drill bit handy to show you the difference. But yeah, that's it. It's so that's the I think this is the set that Harbor Freight sells. I don't think they have additional sets of left-hand drill bits. They are called left-hand drill bits. High-speed steel left-hand drill bit set. In fact, actually, if you'll give me a moment, I'll even just find the link on Harbor Freight's website. Because I think they only sell one. And if you're not in the US, I'm probably fairly sure you have a store similar to Harbor Freight in your neck of the woods. Oh, actually, this set that I bought is no longer on their website. That probably tells you how long it's been since I bought it. Yeah, they don't have it on their website. They might have discontinued it. I can't give you a link. They do, the closest thing they have is this, and it probably would work, but it's not what I have. So, yeah, Sadmex says, if not, your local hardware store might have them. I know, yeah, discontinued the set of left-hand drill bits, so at least until I manage to break mine, I'll have to keep them handy. Alright, so I believe now that I have the display detached, I think I can actually remove the cover on this, because I previously removed the other screws. Ah, there we go. So this is the first time I'm actually seeing inside of this. Oh yeah, Amazon has them. Amazon has everything. So there we go. I think this might be a newer version of the 1400 LT. Or maybe the 1400 LT looks different than the others. So, alright, I do see we have a NiCad battery down there. We are going to have to deal with that. And let me unplug the display. Or, as Tim Cook would say it, the display. Display. How many times can I say the word display? I don't have a meme button, so I can't, like, play the meme every time I say the word display. Oh, there we go. That screen looks good. The plastic looks like it's in good shape. This might be the one I try to restore, since the plastic is unbroken. Unfortunately, it's, like, different inside than the other two. David pasted the link. David says, Amazon has them. Link was too long. I tried. Jack says, I always edit all the query string garbage off the Amazon links. They work just fine. David then posts the link and says, me caveman, I internet no good. Yeah, thanks, David, for sharing that link with us. So here we go. We have the 1400 LT, including the 2 floppy drives. We have the power supply. We have a battery down here. We are definitely going to try to get down into the battery bay to clip that. Let's go ahead and remove this keyboard. I believe in terms of these three, they, I think, have the same functionality. In terms of like processor and RAM. And actually, if I had known that the 1400 LT was different than the 1400 FD and the 1400 HD internally, I probably would have just waited until I found another one of the other two models. Because I think by this point I had bought this to have spare parts to try to make at least one working. And that was because of all the plastic carnage. Just because the plastic on these is brittle. And I can't necessarily say that everyone ships these with the same amount of care, because they don't. Alright, so I'm going to put a little blue mark here so that I hopefully remember that it's the blue cable is pin 6. There's our little connector doodle. Here's the battery that I'm going to clip off. It does look like it has not leaked. So here's our keyboard. It looks like it is a Mitsumi keyboard. It is not a bad, it's not like the clickiest mechanical keyboard, but it is not a bad key feel. Yeah, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that I can get to the Quadra 800 level of subscribers. Because, yeah, Quadra 800. It's just a cool number. Ian says so. Not a Sosumi keyboard. No. Let me get down to where the battery is so I don't, like, I'm going to clip it humanely. I don't want to accidentally cut a wire. Oh, wow. That is... There we go. There we go. There's the power supply cable. This is the sum cable. Oh, that's coming from the power supply. Remove the speaker. Don't know what that is. It's probably floppy drive related. I think the floppy drive cage is still screwed in. Let me see if I can get the the power supply out. The powers. Oh, all right. The power supply is held on, I think, with these two screws down here. Hardware Hacker says, Hulk, smash, puny like button. Yes, please don't actually smash your monitor. That will detract from the YouTube viewing experience. So this, oh, I bet this power supply might also be connected to the floppy drive frames. Let me remove these two screws. Let's see if the floppy drives now want to lift out carefully. Yeah, we are hot on something. Oh, alright, hold please. Alright, let me remove the floppy drive cable. I'm still caught on something. Oh, yeah, there's a... Oh, the switch is soldered on. That's... Alright, we are caught on the... Alright. Apparently the... Whatever is caught on is stronger than my chair. The friction required to move my chair. I don't want to smash this. This is the one that's got the best plastic of the three. Oh, there's a... Oh, Tandy, why did you have to do that? There's a ribbon cable underneath the floppy drives. Alright, so apparently... Ah, there we go. So apparently, get this off, you have to unplug the floppy drives and untape the power switch. And then you can lift the floppy drives up enough to unplug the floppy cable. And then... Oh, let me take a picture of that. And then the power switch is held on by 2 pins that are removable. And now we have this assembly free. There we go. That was intense enough. All right, we will come back to that because the power supply is on it. Now, there we go. So here is our Tandy 1400 board. This is the first time I've seen this. So we do have a NiCad battery right here. And there is only one thing that can be done in this case, and that is snip, snip. So get that. Hey! Hardware Hacker has a trident. Oh, also, this battery has not leaked. It's a Yuasa brand battery, and it has not leaked. It's not even like... Oh, wait. I was about to say, I don't think it's leaked at all. But actually, I think we might have just removed this just in the nick of time, because look at that, folks. That right there appears to be some crustiness on the battery. Look at that. We removed this battery just in time, because there's the positive terminal. looks like the positive side of the battery is... That makes sense. I think it's usually the negative side that starts to leak first, and that is definitely some leakage. Signs of the beginning of leakage, but here is the motherboard. And that might actually be scratching from where I removed the battery. That might not actually be. Let's get a Q-tip here. All right, let's get a Q-tip. Let's see if that is. Hi, socket wrench. Welcome. I think I might have scratched the solder mask removing the battery, because I don't think that's battery corrosion. I think that's scratched solder mask. There we go. I removed that battery just in the nick of time. Which is good, because if we go over here to the parallel port, there is something going on here. There is some corrosion on the case around the parallel port. I'm wondering if the rechargeable battery had anything to do with that. But yeah. Anyways, this board here looks like it's in good shape. So there's where the battery was. No leak. We've got a couple capacitors that'll probably need to be replaced. The power connector is certainly simpler. Here is our... I think here's our 500... so we have 768K of RAM. That's the main RAM. I think here is our 64K of video RAM. Because here's our Yamaha video chip, I believe. Here's our NEC V20 processor. This is rated at 8 megahertz. I think this is I want to say the Tandy runs at like 7.8 megahertz or something like that. That is for the 8087 math coprocessor, which I do have a spare math coprocessor in one of these Tandys. And here's our 16C450. That's our serial port chip. I think this is a 72065C NEC. I think that may be the parallel port chip. Here's our floppy controller, 82C37. I think that's the floppy controller. Here's probably our system ROM there. And there's a couple of custom ASICs. Probably Tandy integrated the logic. Yeah, it's a V20. So that's NEC's. Yeah, it definitely needs a math coprocessor, and we'll give it one. So I do want to clean this corrosion up, but tonight is more about getting the caps I need to, or figuring out what caps I need to recap this, because the power supply definitely needs recapped. All right, so let's set this to the side. More like a VIC 88. It's a V20. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's Well, an 8088 clone would not quite be the correct description. I mean, it's NEC added some extra functionality to it, so it's not a strict clone. Well, I guess it is a clone. Okay. It is a clone, but NEC added some extra instructions. So it actually has some of, I think it has the, I don't remember what instructions they added, but it does have some of the instructions from the 186. So there are some things that would normally require a 286 processor that you can run on a V20. Now, you don't get protected mode. That's not, NEC didn't add the protected mode instructions, but the 286, I think, added a few, or the 186 added a few instructions, and I think those are the ones that NEC added to the V20. You'd have to look it up to see which ones. So if you're building the XT IDE BIOS, there is actually an option to build it to use the V20 processor, and you do get a slight performance boost. And there we go. There's our power supply. And it doesn't look like it's in bad shape. Let's see if we can get it out of here so we can identify the replacement caps I need. Although, honestly, I don't smell. No. I was about to say, I don't smell fish. However, I do see a concerning blob. All right. We will not be sending this power supply if I am correct. So, all right, you see this chip here? The NEC chip? I think it's designated IC500 or something. So, you see that shiny spot right there? I am about... Oh, Hardware Hacker says, I think that blob is glue. Well, I am about to take the swab. That is not glue. If that was glue, I would have not been able to smear it on top of the chip. Oh, Hardware Hacker says, oh, that one. I meant a different blob. Yeah. All right. That is a confirmed electrolyte sighting. One of these caps is definitely leaking. Oh, meant the yellow. Yeah. Yeah. Jack says, it should not be wet. Um, Actually, if we want to talk about it in unsettling terms, it should not be moist. No one likes moist things. This power supply should not be moist. Yeah, and now the chat is reacting in the yeah. Um, oh, there's the big one near the copper wire wrap. Oh, well, look, let me get the power supply out so I don't have to keep um David Starbucks says your computer shan't be moist. Yeah. Sadmax says, also things should not sound squishy. Yeah. I am glad I opened this up, because there is also the possibility with that NiCad battery in here that if I had powered this computer up, depending on how dead that battery was, it might have accelerated its leakage, potentially. I don't know if NiCad batteries are prone to that, but I wouldn't put it past them to potentially be a jerk about things like that. Ooh, yeah, we got a few, alright, I gotta disconnect the battery. Oh, can I disconnect the battery on... Oh, interesting. Alright, I'm going to desolder the battery connector. Alright, let's see here. Soldering station on. Camera on. Not that I'm likely to replace the battery because reasons, but alright, let me go to Droid Cam here momentarily. So there's the two wires for the battery, and if you'll notice, they appear to be green. Which is weird. Alright. There we go. That's it. That's the thing I wanted to show you on Droid Cam. I'm wondering if that's because the battery was left connected on this computer for an extended period of time, causing some sort of maybe galvanic response. Because I'm not entirely convinced the electrolyte of the battery would have seeped through the entire wire, but I could totally see as the battery discharged it causing some sort of a... Oh yeah, this wire. Okay, there we go. I have disconnected the battery cable. I did smell some fishiness. Alright, so now I can set the floppy drives aside. The floppy drives themselves look like they're probably in good shape on this one. They're fairly clean. So hopefully we'll get at least one of these working. Alright. So there we go. Oh, hey, newer ham radio, Elmer. Yeah, it was corrosion. Alright, well, we got the power supply free. And when I got it free, I did notice that there actually is a... Oh, okay, well, that is a glue spot. I thought that was electrolyte. That is actually glue. And so is that. That is glue. And that is glue. Okay, the good news is the electrolyte leakage has not, other than potentially this trace here. That trace looks dark. It's kind of weird that it's only that trace right there. But if that trace is broken, that's definitely a very easy trace to fix because it, yeah, totally fixable. All right, so we did have some electrolyte here. So anyone want to place bets as to which cap it is? It looks like they are Tucson, Tucson, Tosin, Tosin. Your guess is as good as mine on how to pronounce that brand. But definitely, I think most of the caps are that brand. We have one yellow cap here that might actually be a polymer cap. It looks like it's, well, it may not be. I don't know. There's something different about this cap. And there is a brown cap here. I'm wondering if that's a Nichicon. Which that would be really weird to have one Nichicon and. Oh, yeah. Looky there. One Nichicon, and the rest of these are. Oh, hold. Okay, that one, that cap there is made in Japan. Oh, wait. Oh, this Tosin brand is made in Japan. Interesting. Jack says the brand of the cap is yellow. This is tessellated. All right. Anyways, I guess let's see if we can't figure out what caps I need to order to recap this power supply. So this is a PCB, power PCB number 2C. I don't, yeah, it's a big protection diode. Yeah, there's like a number of big diodes. I'd have to look to see if this takes AC or DC power. Is it marked on the computer? Because I think some of these Tandys take AC. Ah, this one takes AC power. Or no, this says AC adapter. No, it's DC. This one takes DC. 15 volts DC. Harder Hacker says, do you see the glue I was talking about next to the red resistor and below the big honking blue resistor? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's glue. There was electrolyte there. Oh, I think Citizen made this power supply. Citiz. I think that's Citizen. Yeah, hey, Bill Lewis, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead. Okay, before I go off and search for caps, let me just double check. Tandy 1400 power supply capacitors. All right, oh, interesting. I found my own live stream. Thank you, internet. All right, it does not appear as if anyone sells a capacitor kit. That does match last time I checked. Let me check a couple of these links to see if anyone's made a list. All right, that's someone's Tandy 1400 FD. No capacitor list on that. Here is a 1400 FD power supply. Oh, all right. Low Tech has the pinout of the 1400 FD power supply. Oh, including negative 22 volts on one of the pins. That's a weird voltage. Probably for the screen. All right, but no capacitor list. Let's see here. Oh. Oh, okay. Here's someone that made a replacement PCB. All right. Oh, here we go. Let me see if they've got a GitHub. We are looking at a Tandy 1400LT power supply. All right. So it does look like someone has made a replacement power supply for the Tandy 1400, but not this version of the power supply. So I have bookmarked that power supply. I may come back to it to resurrect a second 1400. See, no caps there. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. The last link I opened actually had a link to the service manual for this computer. There we go. Here we go. All right. So I've got the service manual, and I can cross-reference what we see here with what's in the service manual to see if there's any no. Unfortunately, the service manual just gives values. So, for example, capacitor C500 is a 220 microfarad 24 volt or 25 volt cap. But it does not give. Oh, and it says it's plus or minus 20%. So that actually doesn't really help us. If it had like a series number, then I might actually could use that to try to figure out caps without having to do what I normally do. So, anyways, yeah, this is I think C533. Yeah, it's a 25 volt, 20%. Yeah, all the caps are 20%. Now, what might be interesting though is if I can read what this one is here, this yellow one. Then I could see if it says it's a polymer or something, but I got to figure out what its legend is. That component is in the way. There's a resistor. I cannot read. value. Okay, I may have to remove it from the board because there is a all right. Let's remove it from the board because I want to see if it's a special cap, and I can't read what it is. I realize that it being a brightly yellowed color cap is not necessarily meaning that it's a special cap, but all the other caps are electrolytic. So I think I may use the service manual if parts are lining up to get values without having to remove as many capacitors. Oh, that's weird. Um, oh, I thought I desoldered it. There we go. Ew. Oh boy. That was a leaky one. That's a 25 volt, 470 microfarad. C516. Oh, shocker. It's an electrolytic. All right. Yep, there's one of our leaky caps. Right there. All right. Well, we will yeah, actually we'll start with it. Just because I pulled it off the board. So this is a I don't know what brand that is. Well, whatever that is just gross. All right. All right. As I remove these caps, if I do have any capacitor gunk on the board, I will clean it off. And if the cap matches the service manual in terms of the value and the service manual matches the value on the board, then I won't put them back in and I'll save a copy of the service manual for when I recap it. Also, I'll probably put the capacitor legend on as the customer note on the Mauser order. All right, so we will start with this one, and we will work. I will work my way, like probably around the board, because I think these three are the same value, And there's these two, and then there's one here and one there. And I know over here it looks like there's probably a couple common values. This one here is possibly... Oh, that's not a capacitor. Yeah, that's definitely not a capacitor. Alright, then I'm not going to worry about that part. I don't know what that is. Probably a transformer. Alright, so let's start with this cap. It looks like it is going to be size constrained, so... Let me see if I can find my calipers. Oh, yeah, there's a Tandy setting on top of the calipers. Alright. I am also not going to promise we are going to get to the TRS-80 tonight. Alright, so this is like 10.2 millimeters in diameter, and its height is 20, so I guess 10 by 20, and the pin spacing is going to be about 5 or 5.5. And that capacitor could be a little taller, and it would still fit. So, let's go ahead and let me go ahead and pull up Mauser. It's not to say that I necessarily will order them from Mauser. I am just going to start with Mauser because I like their search engine the best. I'm used to it. I can find parts, but all right. So I'm logging in. The website is kind of slow right now. All right. Now that I am logged in, all right. At least make this a little bit bigger. All right. So this is going to be an aluminum electrolytic capacitor, and this is going to be radioleaded. All right, the voltage rating. All right, so let's start here. The capacitance is a 470. .25 volts, although I will go up to 35 volts. The diameter is going to be 10.5 or smaller. And it's a 10.2 millimeter, but I think there is a little wiggle room. Well, maybe not. So I'll deselect 10.5. All right, the length is 20. The lead spacing is 5 millimeters. And I want at least 105 degrees C rated. And I want in stock. And let's see what we're left with. Oh, 156. Excellent. So in that case, I think I at least want a 5,000 hour cap. And then I will search by price, sort by price. And, ooh, that's a good choice right there, maybe. I can go for a I can go for a 10,000 hour 25-volt cap. Or I can go for a 35-volt 8,000 hour. Panasonic or Rubicon. Those are both good caps. The Rubicon has lower ripple. The ESR is basically a wash, I think, at that point. Rubicon is a little shorter and diameter spot on. All right. So I think I'll go for the Rubicon. Oh, I've used this cap before. Hmm. 25Z LH470. What's the chances that I ordered an extra and still have an extra? Huh. Oh, the possibilities that I might just not have to order all the caps. That would be nice. All right. All right. I think I'm going to go check the uh, check the caps I ordered and see if I happen to order two of those. But let's test the old cap. ESR greater than 40 ohms. Yeah, that cap's bad. That's definitely bad. If there was any doubt, actually, that cap right there could totally be why the power supply doesn't work. Let me see if I happen to order two of those caps. Because a lot of times, depending on what I'm working on, I will order an extra. Alright. Actually, after looking at my stash of spare capacitors, I have the Panasonic cap. So there we go. We will just go ahead and install that as a 25 volt, 470 microfarad. I believe it is I think it's the second choice that I had in my search results and sorted by price, which I will take it over top of ordering a cap. Ew. Okay, that smelled like dish. No doubt, no surprise, because that was a confirmed leaky cap. All right. There we go. One cap replaced. I will go ahead and there we go. One happy cap. I can't guarantee that I will have replacements for all of these, but oh yeah, I'm fairly sure. Oh, actually it's not that one. Did the one I just installed even appear in the search results? I don't know. Anyways, I will go ahead and take the cap I already have, and we'll move along to the next one's in line. Actually, I'm almost tempted to maybe start over here at actually, let's start over with C500, which should be a 220 microfarad 25 volt cap. Actually, let's just go ahead and just go ahead and remove the caps. I, normally I don't, but since I did find a list of the caps, it will. Well, they're not marked that well though, so maybe I won't. Unless I need to confirm values. No, or maybe I will remove. I don't know. The part that's not marked well is the polarity's not marked the greatest on this board. All right, but it is marked, so I may just go ahead and third guess myself and remove caps after all. I'm waiting for the for Claris to warm up. So let me go ahead and clear the search here. DC rating, length, life, and diameter. I can leave the operating temperatures because I had them all selected. And I'm going to go ahead and pre-select what I believe this cap is. It should be a 220 microfarad, 25 volt. So I'll go ahead and pre-select that. Thomas Armstrong says, oh, oh, you know, I just saw a whole bunch of new chat messages come in. All right, and I'm knocking stuff over left. Well, I need bins. That'll probably be the next thing after I make a workbench. All right, let's see if that. All right, so if these are marked clear enough, I will just leave the caps off the board if I remove them and don't replace them. All right. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing because now you can. Oh, there we go. All right, now. All right, now I think the cap is. Oh, there we go. Yep. All right, there we go. C500. It is a 220 microfarad, 25 volt. I don't think it's leaking, but I generally have a rule that it's an all or none recap. All right, it is. My cap hasn't leaked. I have this weird idea. I haven't even tested this Tandy. All right, I got a weird idea. Bear with me. All right, so I'm going to put this cap back in. I'm going to I just had a brilliant idea. I am going to remove the caps that I can't see under. Replace those caps, which are bad. And then I think I may actually try to power up the computer to see if it's even worth, if it even cooperates. Because remember, the 1400 LT is a different construction than the 1400 FD and 1400 HD. So fixing a 1400 LT won't get me anywhere to fixing a FD or HD model. That is assuming I can get the cap back in. That is weird. And then if this powers up, then I can continue on my quest for caps. However, I'm having a slight problem that I cannot get the cap. Oh, caps go in the holes. All right. There we go. Got it. All right. All right. That's out. I am going to remove the caps that I can't see under because I am going to try to power this up. I will probably have to use my bench supply. I don't think I have the 15-volt DC power adapter. So this cap is a 200 or this is a 2200 microfarad, 25 volt. And it okay, well that changes my strategy. That cap is leaking. Right there, that brown stuff there. Oh yeah, that cap is leaking. Okay, well, I guess maybe we will not be powering this power supply up. Unless, of course, I happen to have one of these caps. Interesting. It still tests good, but it is definitely appears to be leaking. Yeah, negative 22 volts is for the backlight tubes, probably. Oh, well, Stian, your link didn't even come across, so. Alright, well, I guess we are going to have to, oh, I am not keeping up with the chat very well at all tonight. Alright, let's search for Cap and see if Mauser happens to tell me I've already ordered some of them. Alright, so the lead spacing on this one is probably about 8 millimeters. Yeah, that's 8 millimeter lead spacing. Alright, looks like 16 millimeters diameter is safe and about 26, 25 to 26 millimeters high. Alright. This is a 22 microfarad, 2200 microfarad, 25 volts. Because it's a 15-volt power adapter. Diameter is going to be 16 millimeters. Length is going to be 25 millimeters. Lead spacing 7.5 millimeters is the closest I can pick. I'll probably go up to 35 volts unless I happen to already have one ordered. Alright, I'm going to scroll and Mauser is telling me I have ordered one of these caps before. And it was for, an A-OK power supply. Let me see here. That is a 35 YXJ 2200. Okay, it is quite possible I've only ordered one of these. Oh, you can't see what I'm looking at. So, Mauser's telling me I've ordered this one before. $35-volt, 2200 microfarad. Yeah, this would be a great replacement. Jack says A-OK power supply. That sounds even sketchier than Citizen. Oh yeah, the A-OK power supply's in my scrap pile. I recap. Is it in my scrap pile? One moment, please, while I look in my scrap pile because I might. um. Yeah, it's gonna have one of those capacitors on it. Um. Yeah. Today is our lucky day. I found the A-OK power supply. It is not A-OK. So Mike Tech likes to put notes on power supplies that fail testing. Well, there's my test notes. It was... So I recapped this power supply. I think I even started to test it, and it was seemingly okay until I realized that the insulation is coming off the wires. And then I condemned it to... Well, it was actually in my repair pile. But I'm about to take a capacitor out of it, and unfortunately, that is going to mean that this A-OK power supply that is not A-OK is going to have a change of designation. That it is no longer going to be in the repair pile. It is going to be in the scrap pile. Because I think I put it in the repair pile because I spent time recapping it and cleaning it. And it looks so nice and clean inside. But unfortunately, as I discovered, the insulation is coming off of the AC wires. And there is no way to inspect inside the sheath. So I basically declared this power supply a no-go. But the caps inside of it are basically brand new. Yeah, it's a parts power supply. So this power supply, according to the note that I added to the cap in Mauser, this power supply should have one of those caps in it. Now, I am going to do something here. And now you might notice this power supply is missing the fan. I've already stolen the fan out of it. Because I think I put a Noctua fan in it or something like that. Oh yeah, I was going to totally release a video on restoring this power supply until I realized the wiring was bad, and then well, that video is a moot point. All right, so because this power supply is now going to go in my scrap pile. All right, I am, for the record, I am going to cut the AC wires off of the power supply board. I'll keep the PCB because it has all those capacitors on it that are basically new. The power switch, I will keep the power switch. Because I can desolder these wire ends and solder new wires on it. The power switch is probably okay. However, this AC wiring here is, I've deemed too dangerous to attempt to use. And the power supply, I mean, it's not a power supply that's worth fixing. I mean, let's face it, it's a cheap power supply. I've got more. So, anyways, the AC wiring is now going to go in the trash so that I do not potentially reuse it. Because I can't inspect the AC wiring that's in the. And in fact, this DC wiring here, I I should probably, given the fact that the AC wiring had issues, and I don't know where this power supply was stored, I should probably toss the DC wiring too. However, since it's not covered by an outer jacket, it is at least easier to inspect. So I'll hold on to it for now, but I am going to um I am going to write myself a note on the board here. Check DC wires before using. All right, there we go. So now let's find the 2200 micro. Oh, guess what? Right there they are. Bing, bang, bongo. One of those three caps. So there we go. All right, 35 volt, 2200 microfarad YXJ. So that is the cap. There should be enough lead on here to solder it. And I did clean the cap juice off, so I may need to. Nope, holes are clear. Let me make sure I got the lead spacing just right by doing this. Oh. All right. Well, ooh, that's not good. Oh, there's something wrong with that cap. I think I pushed the lead in or something. All right, well, let me try another one. Okay. I have never been to IKEA, so I have no frame of reference from the conversation in the chat. There we go. All right. Cap is in. What's the chances that I can recap this power supply using only spare parts I find in my basement? Okay, there we go. I've replaced 2 caps that were leaky. There we go. Obligatory smiley face on it. Now, let's see here. There's another cap or two that I can't really inspect. Wait, let's do this. I'm going to try to test some of these in circuit. I keep forgetting that is a function that this tester can do. That is nowhere close to correct. All right, I guess let me. That's a. I measured it as a 2,814 microfarad cap, and it is a 1 microfarad cap. So that did not test right in the circuit. I do know I've got some of these caps if this is bad. This is like one of those caps that they practically pay you to take 10. I mean, it's not quite like that, but fifty volt 1 microfarad is such a common cap in power supplies that yeah, it pretty much. I think I have a pack of 10 of them or something like that. All right. And now that I've removed it, I basically just want to see if there's any more leaky caps that I can catch before I power it up. All right, that one's probably fine enough for a test, but all right. Well, in the interest of time, I'll um, I'll put it back. It is a bit high ESR, but I think that is just because it's a 1 microfarad cap. It's a small enough value that I think it's going to be high ESR anyways. All right, so I don't think that one's leaking. These ones are off the board enough that I don't see any leakage under them. And these ones are. The only other one that I'd be suspicious about is this small one here. But something tells me that might just be the switching starter cap. And if that's the case, that one might be fine as it is. So I think this is the point where I'm going to try to power this up so that I can see if this is a good repair candidate. But I do want to do something first, and that is pour out the obligatory isopropyl alcohol that I will inevitably spill later. And I would at least like to... This is that chip that had some electrolyte around it. So I would at least like to maybe reduce the chance that I'm about to power it up with a electrolytic surprise underneath of it. Spray some contact cleaner under it to flush it. All right. Let's let that drain for a moment. So to power this up, I am going to attempt to locate on my bench a set of laptop power adapter adapters that I bought from eBay. Just kidding, they came from Amazon. That is exactly the type of drivel that I just buy from Amazon. All right. I thought, well, actually, now that I think about it, maybe I didn't bring them downstairs. All right, let me try to remember what I ordered them with. There might be a VIC 20 setting on top of them. All right, so the center contact. All right, so the center contact is this one. And, all right, I believe this is center negative. Yes. This is center negative. All right. Okay. I could, I could, totally... Oh, this has got a power switch that I'm going to have to put a jumper on. All right. Oh, I know how to test this. All right. So if I put this power supply back, I'll put it here. At least I can use the power switch on this. I'm not going to plug the computer in because I want to check voltages on the power connector. I think this might be going to the backlight or something. This might actually work. Oh, wait, it's center negative. Wait, is Super Nintendo center negative? Oh, bummer. It's only 10 volts, but it is center negative. I was correct. I think I probably need to at least put 12 volts in this. Or 13. All right. I don't remember where I put my adapters. It's quite possible I have not brought them downstairs. That might be. Oh, wait. I'm not sure. All right. I think I got another idea here. How about I'm just going to take some wires off this power supply here. All right. It's parts anyways. All right. So I just took two wires off the power supply. And I'm going to strip the wires. All right. I don't know that this is necessarily the best idea. All right. So I am going to tack the black wire here onto the negative terminal of it. All right. Now, the other two wires. Are these connected together? They are. All right. So there we go. The all right. So got a black wire connected to the negative terminal, and I'm going to connect a red wire to the positive terminal. And the reason why will become apparent here momentarily. All right. Now, I'm going to grab my bench power supply. All right. I'm going to get my bench power supply. I am going to, okay, first I'm going to plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. I am going to turn it on. Turn it on, turn it on. I'm going to realize that my smart outlet is off. I'll stop singing advertising slogans. All right, there we go. Now my bench supply is on. Not that you can see it. I'll try to zoom out. You still can't see it. All right. All right. So for volts, I'm going to turn it up to 15 volts. If I turn the 15. All right. I'm going to press the amps to the low amps. I'm going to turn the amps all the way down because to adjust the amps, you have to short the voltage source. And I'm going to dial this up to 500. Okay, so I am going to let this draw about 500 milliamps. All right. Just as a safety margin, make sure I'm zoomed in enough so you can see any possible explosion. All right, will do. All right, so I'm going to set the bench supply on the front of the case. It is tilted backwards, so it's not going to fall onto the motherboard. Not that I'm plugging the motherboard in anyways. So I should be able to put the negative wire and ground. Positive wire here. All right, there we go. All right, I'm going to turn the switch on the Tandy. I am going to turn the smart switch off. Turn the bench power supply on. Safety first. I learned this from the 5150 last week. I am going to look at the service manual to see if it maybe gives me a pinout of the power supply. Um, all right. Hold, please. I'm still looking for the power supply pinout. Interesting. They don't seemingly have a chart of the pinout. All right. Hold, please. All right. Let me see if I can find the. All right. So I found the ground. All right. So I think the orange is going to be probably 5 or 12 volts, and the gray appears to be ground. There we go. So you will see the multimeter. You will see the power supply. It will be at the right side, but there we go. And how about for dramatic effect, we'll plug in the speaker. Oh, but I don't have the motherboard plugged in yet. All right, so I am going to go behind my blast shield, which has been proven effective against tantalum capacitors. Hopefully, it will be effective against electrolytics. So, smoke test in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's that's good. Well, we're drawing 15, 15 milliamps. 16 or yeah, 16. Oh, oh, that's 24 volts DC. Oh, 24 millivolts DC. Well, all right. Let's see what voltages we might have. Nope. That's millivolts. That's millivolts. Yeah. I don't. There's no output. All right. Do we have 15 going in? No, we've got. No. Well, that would probably be why. We had 3.4 volts going in. Apparently, I bumped the knob. All right. Well, that's weird. All right. We'll turn the bench supply off because apparently. Yeah. All right. Well, let's try that again. All right. Common orange wire is something of significance. The power supply is not shorted against anything. All right. Smoke test in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. That's all right. That is 15 volts. And 50 milliamps. And we have 1.5 volts coming out. Well, that's probably not correct. All right, let's see what we got. We got that 0, negative 16. Oh, okay, this is good. That's negative 16. 0, 12.3. That's 0, 0.4. That's not right. Hmm. Well, I'm almost tempted to just plug this in. And see what it does. And I believe that is a big fat nothing, but all right. All right, so we got 2.5 volts. That's nothing. Nope, nothing. Nothing. Negative. We have the negative voltage for the LCD screen, and that's probably because there's no load on it. I don't know what kind of unit it is. Jack says, "Congratulations, the power supply can now supply the voltage of one AA battery." Yeah. All right. So there's definitely something wrong with the power supply. All right. Hit the caps. It takes 15 volts DC. Center negative. Because I guess Tandy wanted to make sure they sold you the power adapter. Yeah, very limited switching. So it's basically should be converting 15 volts DC to 5 volts, 12 volts, and I think somewhere around negative 22 volts for the LCD. And what appears if there's more wrong with this power supply. I don't know what the LCD is. Or IC, what IC they, I don't know. I will have to look at what IC it is on it because I don't know what it is. Well, that chip did have writing on it before I cleaned it. I thought it had writing on it. All right. Pro tip, if you're having trouble reading a chip, sometimes isopropyl alcohol can help make the text apparent. Ah, see, right there's the text. Oh, I think the reason why we can't read it is because the paint came off of it. Well, that's not very convenient. All right, I don't know what chip it's using because the writing has come off of it. Hey, Joe, welcome back. I was trying to power up the power supply to see if it was possibly going to work for us, and either it needs more caps or something's wrong with it, or both. Guess maybe I should pull the rest of the caps off and test them. Can I do a parts list, please, in the video description? Uh, wait, parts list from who? Because if you want a parts list from this power supply, oh, not me. Okay. If anyone is curious about the power supply, just put the link to the service manual. So it looks like, oh, it is. I think that IC that I can't read the text on is going to be um a Mu PC 494C. That's going to be an NEC part. Yep, switching regulator control circuit, silicon monolithic bipolar integrated circuit. Ooh, it's got the pin out. Oh yeah, it's I think it's a, yeah, power supply controller on a chip. Yeah, it's got a, yep, error amps, a reference regulator, an oscillator, a couple transistors in it, and a dead time control. All right. Don't know if that part is available anywhere in case it went bad. That is quite possibly a no. All right. We still got the list of all the. All right, I'm trying to look at this to try to figure out what might be bad on it. Now, I mean, it could be the capacitors. I'm looking to see if maybe there's a diode or something that looks like it's gone bad. Yeah, I don't know. All right, TR511 is a. Okay, so that is a transistor. All right, I'm. Yeah, it's the power. Yeah, All right. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could order capacitors for this and try to recap it. All right. I guess there's something else I could do here. Hmm. Let me do a continuity check. So this should be the gray wire, which I think is negative. All right. Are there any shorts between power rails? No. Okay, I'm not measuring anything shorted between power rails. Let me remove my wires I tacked on because they're about to come off anyways. All right. I guess that I wish I knew the power supply pinout, but I didn't see it in the service manual. I mean, there is a schematic in the manual, but the schematic doesn't give wire colors, which either tells me that. Oh wait, okay, that's the LCD. Hold on, LCD specifications, placement of EL backlight. Oh, that's neat. Parts list, troubleshooting option. It is weird that doesn't have a clear pinout of the power supply. I don't know. All right. Welcome, Lazy Bite Boy. Just saw you were in the chat. Okay, so I have spent. Oh, hi, Mike's Future Retro. Welcome. Mike says another week, another failure on my bench. I damaged two LC3 plus motherboards while recapping. Pulled some pads while desoldering. Ouch. I would love to know this computer works before I bother. Oh, sure enough, there is no. All right, I don't know what the pin out of this power supply is. All right, I guess. All right, I guess I can continue my try to check all the capacitors in circuit. I'm just trying to get some confidence that if I do bother to order parts, all right. I think that's close to whatever that one is. All right, I won't quabble over that. All right, I think these next three caps are. Oh, well, that would be marked as a short because I think I measured a wire. 14180 microfarad. You know, those. All right, well, all right, let's remove those capacitors and check them out of circuit. Mike says I've done recaps on newer. I'm gonna blame the age of the LC. Well, yeah, it wouldn't. I mean, might have found someone who does trace pad fixes at a reasonable cost. We'll see what the next chapter says. It was my first Mac, so like your first car, you may spend more than it's worth because sentimental reasons. Yep. All right, I just knocked a screw onto the floor because I maybe I did. All right, because I always choose poorly as to where I put things like that. All right, let me remove these two capacitors. I think this is one of them. Oh, all right. I'm definitely smelling fish. So there's at least electrolyte on the board somewhere. green under the board. That's weird. All right. Well, that capacitor is reading like it's okay. There's green stuff under the board here. Which did come off the board. All right, let's remove the next cap down. I think it's the same value. I guess I'll have to. All right, I guess I'll have to continue my. I don't know what it is. Unless the electrolyte from something has started to dissolve the solder mask. Oh, well, I don't think I. I got the right 2 pins. I don't know. All right. No, I don't think it's mold. It's the wrong color green. I mean, it could be electrolyte. Cap did have a fishy smell to it when I removed it. And that one kind of smells fishy too. I'm having trouble getting it out I don't know how in the world I spent so long in this computer, and I have hardly any caps in my shopping cart for it, and I'm not totally convinced a recap will fix it because I don't know. Just like sometimes when you just want to know, is it good enough to repair? I'm not entirely convinced I soldered the right 2 pins, but Oh, there we go. Oh, looky there. Looky there. I know you can't see. Possible. Oh no, I don't think that's isopropyl alcohol from cleaning the board because I think that would have evaporated by now. Oh, I did. Oh, I did squish the cap trying to get it out. May have hastened its demise. Why do I keep? Okay, now I know that time that was a screw that I knocked. All right, well, I'll have to find that screw later. Well, it's testing good, but it's certainly leaky. All right, so I guess I'm going to have to order some 330 microfarad 16-volt caps. Oh, I think there's actually three of those caps. C520, C521. Let me look at the Mikey says let's have a leaky loo at the cap. Ah, there's a third cap of that value on this board. Let me go ahead and remove it because I've already removed its two peers, so I might as well. I think it's leaked as well. All right. Could be these two pads here. It's possible that when I search for this, I'll find that I've ordered these before, and maybe I have extras, but I don't know that I'd have three extras. That might be stretching. But we'll see. Actually, that cap also kind of looks like it. Well, I mean, the board looks like it leaked. Oh yeah, that does look like that one's leaking. So maybe that one I squashed. Maybe I didn't actually squish electrolyte out of it. It might have. It probably was leaking. Okay, so those three caps are definitely leaking. Even though they test fine, that's not to say that their cap can test fine in a tester and not be good enough to work. We'll at least clean the electrolyte off the board. All right, that's going to be my theory is that Like a wrench said juicy. All right. Yep. All right. So these are 8 millimeters or so in diameter, 7.5, 12.38 tall, and 5.5 lead spacing. All right. So let's go back to Mauser. And these are 16-volt caps. So I'll search for 16 and 25. All right. So these are 330. Diameter is one of those two. Length was 5 millimeter. Lead spacing. And there's results of 3. All right. So we are going to have to. All right. I think given where these capacitors go, I think I could actually use a 20 millimeter. If that gives me a few more choices. And there we go. So that's going to be the one I pick. So I'm going to want 4 of those. So let me go to the product page because I need to add a note. So that's going to be C520 to 522. And I need 3. So, oh, I might as well buy 10 because that's 4 giving me an extra for safety would have been $1.68. 10 is $2.39. I'll get 10. Okay, so I don't have replacements for these. So we will go ahead and leave those off the board. All right, so replace that one, replace that one. Cut those out. So I'm pretty sure I've got, pretty sure I have 1 microfarad 50 volts. So I'm not too not too concerned about that. Let me see here. Oh. All right. that looks gross. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is remove the transistor that was beneath or between those capacitors because it looks crusty. So it's going to be this one right here. Because I can see its pins and they look kind of look bad. I'm not too worried about this, what appears to be just a wire. Although I guess I probably need to try to get the electrolyte around it off. There we go. Ew, more green. All right. So I have a feeling I might be searching for caps tomorrow, not on a live stream as well, in an effort to maybe have a list of caps I can order in a timely manner. Because I have a feeling I'm just going to have to order caps for this entire thing. I am going to enlist Claris's help for this transistor. Well, actually, oh yeah, smell fish. Oh yeah, smell the fish in surround smell now. Oh, all right. I think Claris is clogged. Claris has the. All right, is this the right one? Oh, yes, that is the correct one, and oh yeah, Claris is clogged. Hmm. Yeah, it's not going to work very well. All right. Oh, sorry to hear that, Gupbomb. Gupbomb's not been feeling well. Well, if it makes you feel better, or at least laugh, I lost one of my Tandy 1400s temporarily because it was hiding under a VIC 20. Oh, okay. This is probably not a good sign. All right, the filter. Oh, there's not much solder in here. I think the solder's been. Oh, all right. Oh, Capcom's been indisposed all day. That's why I said hiding in air quotes. Jack says, um, Jack said that VIC 20s aren't that big. Yeah, that's why I used air quotes. Okay, so I've turned the temperature up on Claris because there is a clog in the tube. And I have a feeling this is not going to help. Interestingly enough, looking at this tube, there appears to be a color difference between this half and this half. I have a feeling the heater in this probably is failing. And okay, that was a close call. Yeah, I don't like cleaning it with it powered up, but oh, there's a chance that the clog is. Yeah, I don't like cleaning it while it's heated up because one slip and you're touching heat. Like I almost did, but somehow my thumb did not actually make contact with the tip of the soldering iron. There we go. So, okay. Okay, let me. I just dropped the tip onto the floor, which means I need to get it off the floor because I don't know what it fell on top. All right. All right. Get up. All right. Okay. So the tip is what time is it? 11:23. I am a klutz. I somehow managed to bounce the hot soldering tip into the isopropyl alcohol. Maybe that is my sign that I should stop while I'm ahead for the day. Yeah, it definitely feels. Oh yeah, yeah, this is like totally clogged. Well, if it had, I have. Well, I've got a bottle of water. Yep, this is completely clogged. All right. Um, Somewhere I have a spare. Guess let me see if I can find it. I might as well. One last spare handle that I have. All right. Guess I'm gonna have to wait for this to cool down before I can really do anything with it. All right. Let me see if I can find the spare. Let me also see if I can find the screw that I knocked off my bench. Hmm. I'm trying to remember where I put the spare handle. Yes. Sadly, the place I ordered this from, the last of the spare handles I was able to order, sadly, that place has gone out of business. ordered them from Marlin P. Jones Associates. They always had the neatest stuff in their catalog. And last time I went to their website, which if you were guessing that I was going to order more of the parts for my desoldering station, you would be correct. They had a note on their website that said that thank you for your business over the years, blah, 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 we're closed. Yep. Yeah, it sounded like a law firm, but no, they were electronics. So I guess I'm just probably going to have to probably buy a replacement station soon, since I have no viable path to getting more handles, because you can't practically replace the heater in them. All right, so replacement handles installed. I'm gonna heat it up. I'll clear it. We'll desolder that part I was trying to desolder. We'll test it, and then I'll probably call it a stream, because I think at that point it'll be close enough to midnight. All right, let me make sure. Oh, that's still a bit warm. All right. Drawback of getting these new is first time you heat it up, it burns off who knows what off of it. Could just be oils from whoever handled it at the factory, but all right. Yeah, I'm just going to leave this handle here for a while to let it cool down. All right. They tin the nozzle at the factory, so it was able to pull that solder through. All right. That's actually thinking about it. Given the fact that a leather company made computers, what's to say that Marlin P. Jones didn't start as a law firm? All right, so this is. Oh, this is a SCR, I think. I think this is an SCR, but I sure can't read the part reference on it. I still cannot read a part reference on it. Well, that will make it hard to test. Capcom says you're actually supposed to re-tin it every time you put it away to keep it clean. Oh, that's a PNP transistor. And yet it looks like the component references. Oh! Oh, maybe that. Oh, okay. Hold on. That might be. Hold on. Let me look at the parts list. I'm having trouble seeing its part number. Because an SCR will not test. An SCR does not look like a transistor, so. I think that was actually. Tests as a PNP transistor. And I don't know. Alright, I'm going to presume it's fine. I don't see a component mark. I don't know what its component reference is. I don't see one on the board that seems to match with this component. I guess I could look at the PCB view. Alright, I'm looking at the PCB view. Oh, that's not good. The PCB view is different. That's not handy. Oh, thank you, hardware hacker. Yeep. Alright. Well, this PCB view of the power supply board is not helping because it doesn't match this PCB. And there's the component. Oh, there it is. Oh, please, I'm trying to get the component to, there we go, incorporate. Ah, there we go. All right, well, I guess I was going to have to resolder this component anyways because it did have corrosion on the legs, or on the solder joint. Resoldering it seems to have fixed that. All right. Well, I guess with that, probably about a good place to stop the stream because I'm where I was getting klutzy. All right, so I have replaced two capacitors because I had the values on hand. I have identified replacements for one of them, and I'll have to go through the rest of them later. So I could do a no. I'm I'm getting tired. So all right. So anyways, we didn't even get to the TRS-80, which is fine. My TRS-80 I'm less concerned about because its problem is the display is dim. Specifically, that you have to crank the brightness all the way up to see it, and it looks dim. So I'm not as worried about it. It's probably just a tired display, although the analog board might need recapped. So I'm not totally worried about that. Not getting to that tonight. So Thursday we're gonna I think Thursday we will go to the second choice item. I'm having so much fun with Tandy's tonight. I think I'd like to like to try the second choice item in the viewer's choice poll, and that would be the 5150. Now, is it the display or the display? Oh, it's a display. It's a blue and white display. Because these are the cool ones. Anyways, yeah, Thursday we're gonna look at the 5150. Next week, no streams. And then the following week, I'll probably get back to the 2SI. At least one of the streams. Because I did tell Gutbomb I'd try to get a 2SI working. I may or may not have bought something today to facilitate fixing it. Anyways, Yeah, so don't forget to smash that like button if you like it when I try to get these old computers repaired, which sometimes requires painful, boring capacitor work. Don't forget to, yeah, subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when I go live next. And, yeah, Thursday we'll be looking at the 5150, the one that threw a temper tantrum last Thursday. Well, I I have capacitors on hand that I will have to look for tomorrow night to make sure I know where they are. They are, I have them. They're, I've got, I keep the tantalums for those IBM boards on hand. So, yeah, I've got the tantalums to replace them. They are here somewhere. I should have 2 or 3 bags of them of varying quantities, but they are here somewhere. I will find them. We'll replace the tantalums on the IBM, and we'll try to power up the hard card, hopefully. And, well, Claris won't be non-cooperative because, well, I've already replaced the handle, so we should be good to go. And with that, I am going to wish you all a great rest of your day. And Dave says that was an epic smoke test. Oh, yeah. Speaking of that smoke test, I thought 3 components went, but it turns out the third component that failed was actually the top of the tantalum capacitor on the floppy drive. So if you watch the clip, the top of the tantalum cap on the floppy drive kind of falls over. Then the one on the motherboard goes up in a fireworks fashion, and then the one on the floppy drive kind of embers off as well. So yeah, it was quite a temper tantalum. I don't know that I have tantalums for the floppy drive, but I do have them for the motherboard. We can use a Gotek. The main thing is I want to get the motherboard recapped. The motherboard, the floppy controller, and the we'll inspect the CGA card. It's not an IBM CGA card, but it's a clone, so we'll inspect it. If it looks like they used the same tantalums, then we'll recap it as well. But yeah, we'll replace the was it 10 microfarad 16 volt tantalums with 25 volt ones, and I've got them. I do have them on hand, so I should have what I need to recap. And so yeah, 5150 on Thursday. No streams next week. Then the following week we will start with probably the 2SI on that Tuesday. Yes, I did make a short of the tantalum explode. Well, it's not a short. I clipped it. I made a clip of the tantalum explosion. And the link should be on my community tab, which I will go see if I can't. Let me see here. Let me see if I can copy that link for y'all real quick. All right, YouTube. Ugh. Channel posts. Copy link. Oh, that was cool. Copy. Oh, copy clean link. Oh, we'll copy link. All right. And oh, I think yep, I think Jack already posted it. Oh, yep, that's it. All right. Well, anyways, I'll for anyone that missed it, There you go. That's the, there you go. That was the preview. Yeah, it looks like an ember lands on the drive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think that's what landed on the drive, which is what I thought was a resistor that burned out. But yeah, it's an ember that landed on the drive. Or the top of the cap or something like that. But anyways, yeah. Yep, that was magic smoke. 2 tantalums. Not 1, but 2. 2 little tantalums. Ah, ah, ah. Yes. Only Count Von Count had used tantalum caps instead of lightning. That would have scarred little kids for life. But anyways, yeah. Anyways, with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And let's see here. I hope to see you all here Thursday. So with that, take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.